America's Pulse Network welcomes you to the Pulse Podcast. Today we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the APN's The Pulse Podcast talks about, then please share the Pulse with others. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. Tonight's APN's The Pulse Podcast starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pulse Podcast. I'm your moderator for tonight, Damon Galdo, and I'll introduce our guest. We have great guests, as always, that are coming on tonight. And first, I want to get to a short monologue. There's about the things we're going to talk about tonight, because there's a lot going on. I mean, not just nationally, but worldwide. So I would say tonight feels like it's standing on a knife's edge. I mean, you look overseas and the tension is rising fast. Iran, the Middle East, shipping lanes that control the flow of oil to the entire world, all spark away from sending shockwaves across the globe. And here's the reality: when conflict rises over there, you feel it over here. You feel it at the pump, the grocery store, your electric bill. So you feel it over here all the time. It depends, because it's a tighter world. It's a smaller world now, because everything is entwined economically. So when things happen over there, feel it over here. When things happen over here, they feel it over there. So because oil isn't just fuel, it's the backbone of everything. And when that backbone gets shaken, everything from food prices to transportation starts to crack. So the question becomes, are we in control of these situations, or are we reacting to them? So then you zoom out and you look at the alliances that are we're supposed to keep, and to keep the world stable, is what I'm saying. So NATO, it's the backbone of Western security, and is now showing signs of strain. The countries are arguing over who pays what, who does what, and who actually shows up when it matters. The United States has carried the weight for decades, and now the cracks are starting to show, because an alliance only works when everyone is committed, not when it's convenient. And that's what it's showing right now. I know we've been on them for a long time to pay, I hate saying their fair share because it's a Democrat thing, but seriously, actually to pay their fair share towards NATO. But that brings us to the biggest question of the night. What is greater threat right now? What's happening abroad, or what's happening here at home? Because while we're watching the global conflicts unfold, there's another battle happening inside our own country. Rising costs, division, lack of trust in institutions, people feeling like their voices don't matter, like decisions are being made without them. That kind of instability doesn't come from across the ocean. It starts right here. And the truth is, a nation divided at home cannot project strength abroad. Just one example, I'll just throw this out there. A judge has shut down the construction of the new White House ballroom. Why? That's a small example. It's just stupid. That makes no sense. So while we talk about Iran, oil, NATO, global power, we'll also have to ask ourselves, are we as strong as we think we are? No, I believe it. But the question is to you, the listeners, because the world is watching. As a judge, and if we don't have it together at home, it won't matter what we do overseas. So this is the Pulse, where we break down what's really happening, not just what you're being told. And also, in the last segment, we're going to go live in Trump's address to the nation, just so you know. So before we bring on our guest, I want to go to our breaking news. And the breaking news is, I had my petition challenged I'm running for Congress by Donald Norcross. So I decided it's going to be too tough for me to run. So I am going to concede and drop out of the race. Now, that's April Fool's, because right there, I won. So up yours, Norcross. You're not getting me off the ballot. So there's the article from Jersey Globe that the challenger will remain on the ballot. So stick with your dirty tactics, and I'm still coming. So let's bring on our guest tonight. First, we have, ladies first, Eleana Barbera, mother. Well, you're not Eleana.
Hey, so happy to be here.
And then we have Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner. and I think Alexandra is going to come on, and
Hey,
again, he may come on if we run a little late. But so we'll go into the first segment here. Oh, there goes Justin. Justin Murphy. He's on. He made it. That's Justin Murphy, candidate for U.S. Senate in New Jersey.
Oh, boy. How's everybody?
So, doing good. I don't know if you called the monologue my April Fool's joke, but
I did.
Well-
We caught the monologue. Yeah, always good. Hey, look, I glad you beat back that challenge. I was challenged in 2024 myself.
so
And it's all that from the party that wants to save our democracy. Increase the number of signatures you need to a burdensome level and try to knock people off the ballot. Too much sometimes. Sometimes you just have to laugh. Hi, Eleana. Hey, Seth.
Hey, what's up, man?
So anyway, I just wanted to know that this is our Pulse 1, segment 1, Iran escalation oil shock. So obviously a lot of people are complaining about it. People are divided, even Republicans in the United States, whether we should be in Iran doing what we're doing or we shouldn't be, because people vote with their wallet. And I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure how it's going to affect the midterms. And as long as Trump does what he says he's going to do, what the plan is, I'm all for it. But it needs to happen and get it over with now, because he's going to lose the House and the Senate because people vote with their wallets. It's that simple. That's their main thing. And everyone's feeling it. I have friends that are upset about it, that were hardcore Republicans. I know probably most Democrats are upset about it, but I think it's the right move and get it out of the way. But I want to get your thoughts. So I'll start with you, Seth.
Ladies first.
Well, I was going to spin it around Eleana differently, because Eleana does do a lot of international stuff. She does, so I was going to wait and see how it spun around to get a question for Eleana.
Let's hear from that Navy veteran, Seth.
That's what I want to go to.
Is he with us? Seth, you're right?
I think tonight when he addresses a nation, he's going to address Iran, and I think it's going to be one of two things. That mission accomplished, we're pulling out, we're going to leave like a police force behind to make sure things go through, bless you. Or he's going to say we're sending ground troops into the island, we're going to take it over because Iran's not responding to requests for talk. I hope it's not the latter. We don't need to get involved in a ground war. We don't need to send troops into anywhere over there, because it's going to turn into an Afghanistan like it did for Russia. Oh, we'll be out in 2 months. And then 4 years down the road, they were still there fighting. So I hope we're pulling out and we'll be done with it. And then I hope he also adds that we're leaving NATO. Y'all couldn't help us when we needed it. Then you don't need us around anymore. Don't need our money. Don't need our troops. Alpha Michael Foxtrot. And then leave. But I seriously doubt we'll leave NATO. It would be nice. It would be nicer just to leech for money and supplies. We don't need to be involved with them anymore. There's no more Warsaw Pact. We don't need to worry about NATO.
So, all right. And Justin, I'll go to you next. Justin, I apologize if I forget about this. You served, correct?
Served United States Navy like Seth. Yes, sir. I did 6 months in the Persian Gulf in 1985. We were there to monitor the Iran-Iraq war. And I guess, Seth, you were there too, right? We were there.
Not for that. I was there for the Desert Storm.
Well, okay, yeah. We were in 1985. Iran, Iraq were in the middle of their decade-long war, and I operated radars on a destroyer. We used to run with links with the AWAC jet that flew out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We did some tanker watch.
Nice.
The Straits of Hormuz was always the big issue. What does the president say tonight? I think he'll give an update on the success of the airstrikes and the air campaign. And I would also look for some indication as to what we really can't see, what has probably been kept under wraps. And the most important is what transition, when does the phase of transition begin for the government to get somebody in place so that the Iranian people can self-determine? That's how this is the big W. I mean, you don't want to bomb them into the Stone Age and leave the IRGC, intact to make a comeback. This has to be seen all the way through. went, like, I don't know what they can divulge right now as far as a transition, who a transitionary figure might be, how that would work. I mean, fortunately, I think without a doubt, the Iranian people are up for that and ready for it, and that's the key. When you have the popular support for it, it can work. But I would be very interested to see what he could bring to the table tonight and divulge to the American people about the transition, because that's the real key. When you have a country that leaves tyranny, communism, and the Venezuelas, the Soviet Unions of the world, the key is always, what is the transition? We know what you were. We need a transition in place to take you to a better place. So what's the better place? Ideally, some democratic institutions, but it's the transition is key. You don't want that to go south on you, because then your military success might get washed away. So I would look to see from him what he can tell us tonight about a transition. I don't know if it's the Shah's son that would be thrown in there and be the transitionary figure. Maybe. I would bet dollars to donuts that they have to be working on this behind the scenes extremely aggressively and diligently. They're not just going to go in and blow things up. They know that it's blow things up, degrade their ability to stay in power, project power, obtain nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, fund their Houthis and the proxies, and destabilize the Middle East. But it's getting them out of power. And I think as long as the Iranian people are willing to step up and take those reins, we can have a good transition, and we'll actually see some really good news there. You want to calm that part of the world down, you've got to get rid of the mullahs out of Tehran. That's just, unfortunately, the troubling aspect of it, but that's the reality.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. And then before I go to you, I'm going to say, this is Lorraine said, congratulations, thank you for that. And Donald W4 said, we got a full house tonight and one pretty face. So I know he's not talking about mine. So
Talk about Seth. Yeah.
I think you got us beat, Elena. I think that title belongs to you.
So, but and anybody, please like and subscribe, and you guys can comment. We'll pick up on it and put it across the screen, and also tell us where you're watching from. What state are you watching from? I'm just curious about that. So, Elena, I'll go to you. I mean, your thoughts on all this. I mean, you're the base mother, and I know you care a lot about children, and I mean even younger kids that are 18 and older. But how do you feel about boots on the ground? Like, I wasn't with that at all. If we were going to go on a bomb, I just not surgically knock out certain things. And now, I don't know if Trump's going to say we're putting more boots on the ground. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I feel about that. It may be necessary, but I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody ever feels good about boots on the ground. I mean, we don't want to put our people in danger. I mean, I think of, the people in my own family who may end up there. I think about all the mothers and fathers who are looking at their kids, and the wives and husbands who are afraid right now. Even for a good cause, when there are so many wars we have fought that have been wasteful, but some have really had righteous causes, and even then, this is a sad outcome for humanity, no matter how you look at it. That said, I'm looking forward to seeing what the president has to say today. And is it realistic that this is something that, like Seth was saying, that we can wrap up quickly and minimize the security risk to the United States? That also matters an awful lot. So I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm trusting that the people who know more about it right now are doing what's in our best interest. Of course, we've seen so much warmongering in our time, people just starting wars to make money, that we're all skeptical all the time now about everything. We're skeptical about all decisions, I'd say. But I'm not bothered by the extra dollar I'm paying for gas. I was bothered when Biden did it, though. I'll be honest about that.
Biden had a $5 gallon of gas. We're still under $3. So
yeah, right. And Biden was, he was throwing money away on absolute nonsense. This is a national security issue. that actually matters. So a little bit of pain doesn't feel as bad compared to, some Green New Deal or whatever gobbledygook, illegal alien expenditures and all the rest. So I'm all right. I'm just sitting back and watching, though, because like you said, I'm no Middle East expert. And so maybe it's a little more blissful over here because I'm partially ignorant.
All right. Well, no, that's fine. But no, I agree that that needs to be done. We said Donald before, as a nation, I think Trump has really educated us. Yeah, he has. And Trump has been saying this since, I forget what year, it was 1988 or 86, when he was talking about Iran taking the oil. He said they've been such a burden on the United States. They're terrorists, not the people themselves. And he reiterated that a few times. But the Ayatollahs and everything else and all, they're the number one sponsor of terrorism in the world. So yeah, something needs to happen, and he was the only one that had the guts to go and do what he's doing. I just hope. I remember. Well, I don't remember because I wasn't alive then, but I just know about the Bay of Pigs invasion. What happened to Kennedy? The generals told him, "Hey, we're going to go in there. We're going to take care of it, get it done," and it was an ultimate failure. But it doesn't look like it right now at all. It looks like we're kicking ass over there, and it looks like so. I'm very optimistic. I don't know. Like you said, there's things they don't know about. I don't know what their planning is. I'm not in that room and what they're doing, but I'm optimistic about it. I just hope that we get through it well.
And can I just add one thing? And I think I'd say everyone on this podcast is in full support, no matter what, behind our armed forces. And these psychopaths on the left who are wishing harm on them, I don't even have words for. I really find it sickening in my core and so disturbing that we have countrymen that are wishing harm on our servicemen and women.
That is the contemporary left-wing Democrat Party.
Yeah. I
think if the people that are crazy enough to say things like that, they should live at Seth's house for a week, and then I think they'll come out different. So
they'll educate them.
They'll inundate them so much that they'll change your mind.
So. Yeah, Seth's foot's not too injured to go up somebody's,
Damon, when you look at Iran, and it's even you go back to Vietnam, Iran, Iraq, the engagement in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now Iran, the war will be those conflicts. Okay, they will be very distinctly known for their lines of delineation. This was the military phase. This is the political phase. This is the post-war phase. And they will all be part of the same issue, but they'll be very separate and distinct from each other. And that's how Vietnam was. With Iraq, too, there was look, the first phase was great. People were running around with American flags, running around the streets of Baghdad because we got rid of a guy that they wanted gone. And the same going to be with the Iranian people. Right. So it's the phases, the handling of it. It's boots on the ground. We're not looking to go. I don't really think boots on the ground is an issue in Iran. Possibly, maybe one of the small islands by Lakar Island or Larak, by the Straits of Hormuz is a big deal because they've been launching from there to harass shipping. They always have. You go further up the Gulf, you got Kharg Island for the oil. But when you look at this. One thing Trump has to do, and this doesn't. Domestically, it's a different pill to swallow for the American people, but he has to have that at least as a bluff. He's got to let the Iranians know he should not tell them what we're going to do or not do. He's going to tell them, here's all my options, and I have all my options, and I'll continue to move forces to the region, so I have all my options. And I think a lot of this is bluffing. He doesn't want to have a ground war. He really doesn't. He's looking for a way to get to that transition phase and get the Iranian people to self-determine. And I think that's where he may lead us tonight. But he's going to have to be very clear about that. And I'm not sure at this phase he can talk much about the transition yet.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, one thing that Donald before just brought up, because I want to move this quickly and take a break after this. We'll go around the room real fast. The birthright is something you never realized was being abused until it became a public issue. Now, I didn't know it wasn't either. I didn't realize there were Chinese billionaires having anywhere from 100 to 50 babies, surrogates in the United States, having them born here, taking them back to China, raising them there, and then they can come back when they're grown and run for office and take over. I mean,
Yep.
we have so many. I'll give them that's a smart move on their part. It's very hard to destroy the United States from the outside. You got to do it from within. And a lot of people try to do that, but I'm glad it was caught. Trump was the first one to bring it up that I've ever heard of. So I think it's. I mean, he actually is it tomorrow? He's going to the Supreme Court. He's going there himself.
It was today.
Today it was okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they rule on that. But I don't know. Anybody want to mention anything about it before we take a break? Or
I only got to listen to the first hour of the hearings, and they were really beating up on Trump's guy on his on his legal arguments, and all of them on all sides. I can't even say the left and the right. So I want to hear the other half and see how they treated them and their arguments before I make any predictions or any guesses. But I can say it is really terrifying how that birthright citizenship thing has become, that the surrogacy birth has become a political tool being used against us, and something has to stop it. And at the end of the day, the Constitution rules, and if it seems that it is constitutional to leave things the way they are, we're going to have to find another workaround for dealing with this problem. And that might just be closing the borders altogether, which I know has been suggested in this room before.
All for that. All for that. This is such a slap in the face. The 13th and 14th and 15th Amendments, they're our country's Civil War amendments. We enshrined, that was a major step to our creed that all men are created equal in our Declaration. We fought a civil war. We put 350,000 Northerners in their grave to abolish the institution of slavery. Thank you, Republican Party and first Republican President Abraham Lincoln. That's those three amendments, okay, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Any intellectually honest purview of history would clearly show you that they had no one was thinking of illegal aliens in the future and birthright citizenship. It was for slaves and children of slaves and ending slavery and extending the right to vote to former slaves and due process. And I mean, this is insanity to think, but what's important about this is each justice's own personal methodology of constitutional interpretation. If you're an originalist or a textualist, this is easy. There's no birthright citizenship, period. It certainly was not the intent of the people who amended our Constitution with those amendments. They were not thinking in the future of, hey, someday in the future, there might be an issue with illegal aliens and birthright citizenship. No, they were worried about the country enshrining the end of slavery in our Constitution, our governing document, textually subject to the jurisdiction thereof. If you're an illegal alien and you're not subject to the jurisdiction of this country, we can impose our law on you. That doesn't mean you're subject to our jurisdiction. Okay, you're not a citizen. Okay, you weren't born here. You don't just show up. It's just, but the three justices, the three yo-yos on the left, you know how they're going to vote. The question is the other six. Is this a 5-4? Hopefully the bottom doesn't fall out. The methodology for interpretation, textualist or originalist, is critically important. It's the fact that this is even a Supreme Court case, I think it bodes not well for us. You just no other country on earth does this. If I go to Norway and I get I bring a girl with me over there and I get her pregnant, she's not Norwegian. You give a birth to that child, they're not Norwegian. What are the parents? Who are the parents? It's your child, and go back to your home country. This is a huge mess. And, you kind of don't know where some of the justices are going to go. You know where the three are going.
Yeah, I know.
Miura, the same typical suspect. You know where they're going. They simply, here's their rationale. Here's the way they construe the Constitution. Where's Donald Trump on the issue? Okay, we're antithetical. No legal rationale, just whatever Donald Trump wants, we want the opposite. And that's what basically how they rule and make decisions and think. But this, it's sad to even see this have to be a question. And, I don't know if legislatively you can pass a law, but if they're going to construe the Constitution as permitting this, you'd have trouble finding legislation because obviously a constitutional amendment trumps, no pun intended, a piece of federal legislation. So if it does go south and they come up with a ridiculous ruling, there have to be some real thought on how to stop the problem. But there should not, if it's 5-4, fine, but it needs to be interpreted a certain way. It's just not even, it's just, common sense. No other country does this.
Yeah,
but that's not the argument. The argument is that it's about what is constitutional. Like we can argue all day long how we feel, what other countries do. What does the American Constitution say? That's the argument. And
it is. It's a case of interpretation.
Yeah.
And it's a direct threat to our country.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's just ridiculous that people in this country are fighting for people who don't belong here to stay here just because they have a kid here. That's ridiculous. If it's that important, you'd let them move in with you. There should be a national registry. People put their address on it and say, hey, if you're illegal, here are the addresses you can go to, and these people will support you. And ship them over there.
I don't want that either. I want them to leave.
Well, I do too. It's just these people just want to bitch just to hear themselves. Like I've said before, liberals are the most miserable people on the face of the planet. They will always find something to scream and yell at, to cry about and whine about. And this is just their new thing. They're going to whine. And if they get their way on this, in 2 weeks, there'll be something else they're going to complain and whine and cry about and say it's not right. They will never be made happy. It's ridiculous. These people don't belong here. Congratulations, you had a baby. Get on the goddamn plane and go back to your third world shithole. It's leaving in 20 minutes. You better be on there.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court did make a rational ruling in an 8-1 decision just yesterday. You guys know about
it, right? Colorado, yes. And except for Ketanji Brown Jackson, of course.
Right. But to Justin's point that, we expect the liberals to always do the anti-Trump thing. They actually held up the Constitution yesterday. So they
my worst. I was surprised that you ruled that way, but
yeah, just a quick summary for the viewers so they don't know. So know what we're talking about. Colorado had a law from 2019 that said that therapists couldn't talk about biological reality with kids who thought they were trans. So you could only affirm the trans gobbledygook. You could not say, hey, you're actually a girl or a boy. And in the end, it rose all the way up to the Supreme Court. And in an 8-1 decision, the Supreme Court decided that that was a First Amendment free speech violation. And the therapist can now talk to kids and tell them the truth about trans ideology, if that's the path the therapist chooses. And that's going to affect 20 states and 100 localities. So thousands of children are going to be saved from trans indoctrination.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well,
the First Amendment issue, I guess.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, we have to take a break because we've got like a half hour left till maybe the fourth segment comes on. Maybe Trump will be a little late, but thank you for throwing the curveball there. I appreciate it though because it was something important to be talked about. So let's take a quick break. 1, 2, 3.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up. Because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. But America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. The New Jersey State House Watch, hosted by Jack Brangan and Constance Detzel. APN's The Pulse is moderated by either Alexandra, Damon, Eleana, or Seth. Also tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Join the revolution because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pulse. We have Seth Eisenberg, Eleana Barbera, and Justin Murphy on here. Justin is running for U.S. Senate in New Jersey. I'm currently running for Congress in New Jersey as well, CD1. So now this Pulse 2, NATO tensions, allies or not. Now, we did touch on this a little bit in the first segment, but so I just want to go, like, what are your thoughts, Seth? I'll go to you again first on this one. Like, what are your thoughts on NATO? Like, we've been wait, hold on. You got the hammers here. Well, what are your thoughts? I mean, like I said before, we've been funding NATO more than any other country, and I get it. We're the most powerful country in the world, the most richest country in the world, but we're not that rich anymore. We're $38 trillion in debt right now, and I don't know. What do you think about NATO? You mentioned something earlier about it. Do you think we should disband NATO, get out of it, or?
I don't think there's a need for it anymore. I mean, it seems that all the NATO countries want to be NATO when they need something. But if it's not them, they don't care, that it's not that important to be in NATO. I mean, like when World War II, after World War II, we did it because Russia made the Warsaw Pact with all their countries, so we had to counter it with NATO. There's no need anymore. There's no more Russia. There's no more Soviet bloc. There's nothing. The only thing we have to worry about is the Middle East. And apparently NATO doesn't care about the Middle East because it's not affecting them yet. So we had to do it all on our own. So why do we need to pay to be in a club that doesn't help us when we need them? What's the purpose? Why are we going to fund them? And when we need them, they go, oh, well, you know what? You can't use my country for your planes. We're not going to get involved in them. That's awesome. Don't call on us for anything ever again because we're pulling out. Enjoy it. And I guarantee you, if we do it in 6-7 months, you're going to be whining and crying. Well, now we can't afford to do that. That's a you problem, not a me problem. You didn't help us when we needed it. We're not going to help you when you need it. We're not a part of your club anymore. And then I think Donald said that Trump said, when you buy oil, you got to buy it from us, or you can buy it from Iran. But we're not going to give you any more discounts because we're not NATO anymore. You didn't want to help us. So we're not going to try to help you anymore. AMF. We don't need to be involved anymore. It's a one-way street, and we're paying to pave that street. We need to get out.
All right, Justin, I'll go to you next in order. What do you think about the European countries? Are we allies with them anymore? And this should have been a question for Seth. Like, when did they stop making men? Because you look at France and the European countries.
Damon, I was asked this question last night at a town hall in Mercer County, and when you look at Europe, you look at NATO, and it's expanded now to 32 countries. There's a pretty clear distinction between Western Europe and Eastern Europe. Okay, Eastern Europe, having been behind the wall of the Warsaw Pact, they're much more American now, I think, pro-America, pro-West. They get it. They understand. They've lived the hell and horror. The issues arise from those Western European countries that generally have been our allies for time immemorial. And that I look at Western Europe, you look at Italy, Germany. Now, Italy and Germany, you see some right-wing movements popping up in these countries in the West, France, England, and I hope they do very well. That's the only way they're going to survive is if they make a wholesale cultural change and political renaissance. But if you look at the West, the Western part of Europe, I think you're seeing two things. Number one, you're seeing this is a result of the strain in our relationships with them, the result of pretty left-wing governments in these countries. Okay, pretty left-wing governments that really might not be really hell-bent on Western political thought, okay, of freedom of speech. I mean, you're in England right now, you say something about Islam, you're going to get arrested. I mean, that I can't even get my mind around that.
No, I know.
I mean, this is the cradle of Western political thought and Western civilization, and it's off the rails right now. So you're looking at two things: the clear distinction between Western Europe and Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe being much stronger on immigration and the culture and all the good things there. Western Europe, there's problems. One, you've got these fairly left-wing governments that have been in power for too long, and they've inculcated some cultural and institutional changes there that have had those countries noticeably move to the left politically. The second is you're seeing based on the large number of Muslim populations in these countries now, you're seeing the leaders change their tune when it comes to foreign affairs. And this is a predictable result. When you've got millions upon millions of Muslims living in your country now, they're tending to walk on some broken glass when it comes to the Middle East and using the military against Muslim nations. That's what I think is driving them to say, well, we're going to have to just not let you use our airspace. Now, we should snap back at that pretty quickly and think we can. I think it would be best, though, if it was handled behind a closed door. I'm not sure this is good for public airways and consumption. You don't want the appearance of a real bad fracture. I don't think it's there yet. I think it's Trump being a little miffed, and he should be. He should be. They should be a little more cooperative with us and a little more enthusiastic about what we can be. Look, if they're making the case that NATO is still needed for security arrangements in Europe, okay, and by extension the Middle East, then fine. Here's your big chance. Step up. If we need your airspace or we need some minesweepers from you, let's have it. It shouldn't be that difficult of a decision for you to come with. But don't overlook the fact that you're looking at some very large Muslim populations in France and England, and that is going to affect their politics, obviously, who's elected, and their disposition on foreign affairs, especially when it comes to dealing with Muslim nations in the Middle East. That's a big issue right now. And some of that, why is Keir Starmer doing what he's doing? I think it's for domestic consumption, to be honest with you. Now, but they have to think through it a little more. The Iranian people are very happy with what we're doing. But, you have the troublemakers that just look for anything to foment violence and rioting. And I think that they want to walk around that any way they can. But that should ring the alarm bell a little louder. You guys have a problem with your culture and your immigration. If this group of idiots, and some of them are going to start to dictate your foreign policy when you're trying to remove a cancer.
That is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And later, I'm going to go to you. You talked about immigration before, like they should all go. Do you think that is one of the biggest, like Justin was saying, and I believe it is, it's one of the biggest downfalls of open borders. I had seen interviews with the president of Hungary, and he, doing Trump style, shut the border down and all that. They're doing pretty well, but the other countries are not.
That's Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is they're going through a little bit of revival. They're embracing freedom, free markets, capitalism, but the West is the Western European countries. Some of them are really starting to decay, and England is in some trouble. And I really hope they can get themselves turned around. France, same. Spain.
The latest question.
Spain has always been Spain. They've denied. They've always been a pain for us. I don't think they've ever been a great ally. But the Scandinavian countries like Finland and Sweden that just joined NATO, look, they understand the pressures and they get it. And Eastern Europe, they're much better. They're much more attuned to dealing with reality. But the countries in the West, it's tough, and it's a shame to see because it will cause strain. I don't think they want us out of NATO. Of course not. I don't think we will. I think Trump is just going to try to rattle the cage and say, listen, you get your asses in line. 5%, and when you're needed for security, step up. And they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to find the political will to do it. And if they get a few Muslims in the street that start to riot, well, then don't let so many in. Don't let so many of them in, and start deportation and take back your country and your culture.
All right. So, Elena, I'll just leave it to you because I have a question.
If we didn't give all this insane amount of money to fight the Ukraine war, Europe would have. They're just so coddled by us, I guess is what I'm getting at. We can't strong arm them here on this side while we're protecting them on the eastern side. They know that, we're taking care of them no matter what. I do want to point out, don't forget a month and a half ago at the Munich Security Conference, Marco Rubio's speech to the EU when, he's really in that speech, he was really trying to revive the spirit of unity and friendship between America and Europe.
Good.
Because
Should.
they are actively participating in their own decline with the reckless third world immigration and the complete takeover that's happened in Western Europe. As Justin said, Eastern Europe is holding their own. They're not playing around. I mean, when I think about going to Europe, I dream now about going to Hungary. That was never on my, on my list, really. But now I want to go there because it's
Go to Poland. Go to Poland.
Strong Catholic countries where they're preserving their culture. I want to go there to see the culture. I don't want to go there and feel like I'm in the middle of New York, or Dearborn, Michigan. I want to go to Hungary and see Hungarians, and you're not seeing that if you go to London anymore. So unless they do grab their, really let the conservative parties take back over again and straighten these countries out, I don't see them being long-term allies for us. So that's where the NATO thing really gets precarious, because not only are they not being allies now, they're headed down a really dangerous path.
Yeah, they are.
I hear you. So
I agree.
I just want to say that everything American 1776 is go to the text. I'm here, Damon. So I'm not exactly what that is, but I might know who it is. But anyway, thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. So let everyone know where you're from, everybody who is commenting on here. We'd like to know what state you're living in, because when we do the polls, it's important to know what states we're reaching. And this reaches everywhere. This reaches worldwide. So if you don't even live in this country, we'd like to hear what you think as well. But we got 8:41. This next segment, we got some clips to play. So I want to get through them because I don't know if Trump's going to be on time at 9 or it'll be late. But after this segment, we'll just go into the Trump address segment, and we'll just talk about it until he pops on. So let's take a quick break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So everyone, welcome back to the Pulse. This is the Pulse segment number 3, bigger threat, home or abroad. Now, I have a couple clips to play first. And the reason why I'm going to put it this way, I just want to show something we talked about before. When people were protesting the streets and they were waving other countries' flags and looting and rioting and all that, this was something a little bit different because I think it was Justin made a comment earlier that most Iranians are happy that the U.S. is doing this. So let's roll the first clip. Now that right there, that was on the 29th. It was on Sunday. It was in D.C. I believe that one was. I know there's another one. Next one definitely was. I was looking at it because they had a No Kings protest on Saturday the 28th. That was all over the place and it was ridiculous. Again, we'll see some of that in the upcoming clips. I was actually going to go to it in Camden. I had it all set up. I had a group going with me. I actually had Democrats that invited me to go against Norcross because Norcross calls them no kings, and I'm like, well, you know what? The president has term limits. You don't, even in office for 12 years so far. You can keep going. You can be like a Biden forever. So who's the real king when the president only has to serve 8 years total? So I was going to go, but then I got the news that my petition was being challenged, and then we were in go for it after that, so we cancel it. Other people went. They handed my flyers, which is great. But thank you, everyone that did that for me. But But yeah, it's ridiculous. So Elena, what do you think about that there was a lot of Iranians there and they were thanking President Trump? And you'll see when I roll the next clip, I'll go to the next person. You'll see something that I'm okay with if it's this way. So what do you think about all the people that were there? Like, thank you, President Trump. Like people actually thanking the U.S. president that are citizens here. They're Iranian, but they are citizens here.
Yeah, well, I think it's a short answer that it speaks volumes about the positive impacts that this is having on the Iranian people. And yes, not all the Iranian people are going to be hurt. It's a war. But they've been waiting for 40, 50 years now since since 79, was it? For somebody to come and save them and rescue them from this regime and allow people to just live in some sort of semblance of freedom again that they used to enjoy. And many of them are old enough to remember what their country was like. It's beautiful. And, there are people on the left or who are against this will say that that's an AI generated video or it's propaganda. But, they're so out of touch. They also think men can get pregnant. I'm very happy.
All right,
as a male, you can't get pregnant.
Yeah. Well, so I was going to go with you with this one, Seth, because we talked about it before, but you'll know what it is. But I'm saving a special clip for you next. So we're going to roll the next clip, and I'll go with you, Justin, on this one. Now, Justin, before when they were looting, rioting, or waving everyone's flag but the United States flag, that bothered me. That bothered a lot of us. We talked about it a lot, and then they're going to loot and riot and tear down stuff, burn cars, let them on fire. Now, that is something I am okay with. Everyone that lives in the United States, either they are or their ancestors are from a different country. Now, like my dad has an American flag on the flagpole, and underneath he has an Italian flag, but he's America first. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them showing that this is where they're from and saying USA, USA. They said around all that stuff, but that's fine as long as they have the American flag draped around them and they chant USA and they're peaceful. They're not destroying anything. They're just thanking the United States for helping. Maybe they have a family over there that are under thumb of the Ayatollah. They were lucky enough to get out. I work with a guy who's from Iran, and he's an inspector, and he is like so happy that this is happening because his sister still lives over there. I mean, understandable. He's worried about her because anything can happen, but he thinks it's a good thing, and he's an American first guy, and he's born in Iran, and he moved to this country about 25 years ago. So.
Now, it's good to see that. It's good to see people carrying our flag and celebrating our country, not rioting, looting, burning, destroying, spitting on it, burning Trump in effigy and attacking people. And it's just good to see that. Look, it's right now the Iranian people, okay, the most important public opinion poll is in Iran right now, okay, not America yet. Do the Iranian people support this? Because if they do, and they do, they're going to be willing to do what needs to be done for that transition. They're looking forward to it. They want to make it work, and it's important because you got the will of the people with you, and it's hard to lose like that. It's hard for things to go south when you have the will of the people. And it's funny. You look at the people in our country who are protesting the war. It's your typical paid, organized, planned, trained, and funded Neville Singham, Soros, left-wing dark money idiots. Okay. Usual suspects. And then you look at the people from Iran or have relatives in Iran are out there cheering and supporting what this president is doing. What does it? Do you need to know any more? Like, what else do you need to know about? Here's the left again. Will always have some cause that they're disgruntled. And Seth, you said it earlier. At their core, they're miserable people. I've never met a happy leftist person in my life. I had never have met a happy liberal. They're miserable, and they're not miserable and keep to themselves. They've been told it's better to be miserable and try to make everybody else around them miserable. It's envy. It's envy. Thomas Sowell once said envy was a sin. It was one of the 7 deadly sins before it was recast as equity or social justice. And if you look at the two groups of people, like here's the left wanting people to take to the streets to declare Trump a warmonger, and here are people who actually have knowledge and a stake and family members there, and they're out there cheering and supporting what this president is doing. People from Iran. It's just comical. The left is there. Do they really lack self-awareness to the degree that they can't see what flaming freaking idiots they are? I mean, do they lack self-awareness to that degree, or are they sociopathological where they do know, but they just don't care? They're so miserable and they just want rioting, looting, burning, destroying, hate, anger, consternation, violence, militancy, incivility, myopia. I mean, you name it. It just, they are a real cancer. And the left is. It's as much of a cancer as the mullahs have been in Tehran. So the world is broken down to a line now. I think good versus evil, right versus wrong, and the other superficial aspects are just that. But it's good to see people out taken to the street. It's good to see that we've got people over there in harm's way. They need to know their support for what they're doing. There's support for it. The American people support our military. Are they nervous when you talk about boots on the ground? Yes. Nobody wants an extended land war, and President Trump does not want that. I'm convinced of it. But he wants that tool as a chip to bluff and say, I will put boots on the ground. Okay. Joe Biden would stand up and say, "Oh, we're never going to do that." Well, now your enemy knows you've just announced your position and your policy strategy to your enemy. Bad idea.
Joe Biden, we are running low on ammunition.
Yeah. Tell everybody that.
I have these 11 things that I said to Putin right here when I had the meeting. Things that he can't touch that'll hurt our infrastructure. I couldn't
outside of that, go ahead.
That was brutal. Brutal.
What did you just say?
Liberalism is a mental illness. It's a mental illness.
I'm going to show you right now.
They just deny reality. They don't like reality. They say, "Well, I want it to be a different way." Well, look, sometimes reality rules. You have to be realistic.
Well, I'm about to show you this one right now. Actually, our great producer, if we can, let's do the still picture, the Facebook pic of Mr. Norcross first, because I want to say this is who he is with. If we can put that one up first. So yeah, this is Donald Norcross. He's right there on 1, 2, 3, third one from left. No, right. I'm sorry. Apologize. And I don't know if it's flipped around on your guys' screen that you're looking at, so I'm not sure. But so he's there at the No Kings protest in Camden. There he is. He's in the bottom middle square. He's the one on the right there. He's the one in the middle and the left square. He's the one standing alone in the left. No. So yeah, whatever. So it is what it is. But that was him. So and he's talking about his founding fathers 250 years ago, to free our nation from tyranny. I mean, seriously, tyranny. I mean, he's had Camden on lockdown forever. I mean, his family's been indicted 3 times. I mean, I mean, seriously. I mean, enough. But Seth, I'm going to roll this clip, and this is for you. I'm going to let you take it right after this clip. Something Justin just pointed out. I'm going to let you handle this one.
No King's Day!
No freaking Kings!
No Kings in the USA!
No King's Day! Woo!
Yeah!
No King's Day!
What are we gonna do to the king?
We're gonna shut him down.
How are we gonna shut him down?
Impeachment.
If there's impeachment, that means there's a Congress and Donald Trump can't be a king.
Right.
Right. Why is Donald Trump a king?
Because he's nuts.
He smells funny.
For real? Is that a question?
Because he has repeatedly overused his.
He's trying to abuse this world and try to make this place all about him.
Why are you asking me this? You know the answer.
What's the answer?
You know it.
What is it?
You know the answer.
So many people showed up.
Imagine if they showed up like this for Kamala.
People showed up for Kamala.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
What is one action that Donald Trump took that is impossible to do under the Constitution, but he did it anyway?
I can't name specific laws, I'm sorry.
So, Seth, before you go, I'm just going to remind you of
Comedy show.
Smells Like Cat Urine, Stale Doritos, and Shane. That's from one of your podcasts.
You could smell it through the screen. It just wafted. That and stupidity. It all kind of mingled together. It's like a dirty diaper in middle August. Those people are idiots. I mean, they're idiots. No kings, no kings. Number one, we already have a holiday for that. It's Independence Day, July 4th. We've already handled that. Number two, the man has term limits. He can only serve 2 terms. So he can't be a king because a king just rules until they die. Number three, like the one guy said, there's a Congress so they can hold him accountable. These people are morons. And that's why they get together in groups. So they all can feed off of each other's stupidity and keep going. It's like when you go to a club, and when they don't have those anymore, white people would line dance. They line dance together so they all look equally as bad and nobody stood out. That's why they have these marches. They all look equally as stupid, but nobody stands out as being the stupidest. They just feed off each other. They don't know what they're talking about. The guy, well, what laws has he broken? Well, I can't name them now. That's because, you idiot, he hasn't broken any. Because if he had, trust and believe, you'd have a list. You'd pull right in and go, look, let's start at number 1. He's done this, 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 and this. They can't because he hasn't. But they're too stupid to realize that because, again, they're surrounded by idiots and they're feeding off each other. So they think they're smart. It's ridiculous. And number 2, people don't realize if he was a king or a fascist, he wouldn't allow them to do this. There'd be no marches. There'd be no protests. He would send the military and he'd shoot them like they did in Iran. They would just start shooting protesters in the street. They're too stupid to realize this. They're a product of public schools. There you go.
I think it's more than that they're stupid. I mean, those people, almost all of those people were mentally ill, and it was clear.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what we're doing here is making fun of people. It's kind of sad. I mean, they're creating problems for us. So, hey, bring on the ridicule. But the reality is it's sad because these people belong in straitjackets in asylums.
Well, I don't know who said it, but someone said, never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. That was a perfect example. Large group of stupid people feeding off each other, thinking they're the smartest people in the world. And I don't feel sorry for them. I'm past feeling sorry for them.
I do,
they
because
know what they're doing.
They're mentally ill. Like they deserve to be
Ill.
institutionalized. And this is what happened because we closed the asylums. Now we have them on the street voting.
But I think calling them mentally ill is giving them an excuse. They don't have an excuse. They're stupid. They're stupid people.
You can be both.
With stupid ideas, living a stupid life, making it public for people. They're idiots. They're not mentally ill.
Well, I would say, I'm looking at that. I would say there's some mental illness in there. For 100%.
Yeah, how could you?
Having a hippopotamus. Why is he wearing a pink hippopotamus outfit?
The kid in the gray. If that was your son, what would you do? Put a straitjacket on him. Yeah,
I'd start dropping bombs on them.
Dysfunctional. They are.
All right. So listen, we're coming up close to 9 o'clock, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll just keep talking until the address comes on. So let's take a quick break.
Are we?
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's informative, and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media. Just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
That was only like 2 months ago, and my face was even fatter then. I don't know why. I mean, it's still a little bit. I was out in the cold. I was snowplowing all night, and I had to come home to get Jeff on to give me like a 32-minute interview. So I ran home, took all my clothes off, threw some towel on as fast as I could, sat down, did the interview, then ran back out, got the snowplow truck when we had those storms. But That was a great interview with Jeff. He was awesome. He's good. He's a really good guy. But before, I mean, just in case Trump comes on, I just want to say, Justin, tell people where to find you, because we're going to talk until he comes on. But I just want to get this done just in case.
Yeah, no, thank you. Our campaign is we're making a full steam ahead sprint to the June 2nd primary. I need to thank Eleana for going out of her way to coordinate and organize some signature gathering for us. Because of many people like you, we somehow dropped over 3,000 signatures into file. I didn't think we'd make that far, but we did. Damon, I know you made it, and we're welcomed with a challenge from Donald Norcross, who just told us how much he wanted to save America's democracy, but he would go to any length to knock you off the ballot. It's ridiculous. Jersey Justin, number 4. Jersey Justin, number 4. Senate.org is my website. There's ways you can get to our X account, Instagram, YouTube channel, donate, read my Senate pledge for the June 2nd primary. Jersey Justin, number 4, Senate.org. We hope to see you there. If you are available, Saturday night, April 18th, we're renting a beautiful farm in Pemberton, Burlington County, and we're going to have a big dessert fest from 7 to 9. All the key lime pie, cheesecake, and Justin Murphy for Senate. You can stand.
Nice.
All right. So sounds good. So for myself, everyone knows where to find me on social media when they watch this podcast, so I don't have to rattle off all that. But the most important one is votedamongaldo.com. You go to votedamongaldo.com, you'll see my platform, what I'm about. And I'm going up against Juggernaut in Donald Norcross. He's got $2.3 million. I got $2.3. So I'm close. I'm joking. I got people are donating, but for everyone out there that has been, I really appreciate it. I don't have a fundraiser scheduled just yet. We're just talking about today, landing in place for next month. But yeah. Oh, and then I just got apparel. So Damon got it for Congress.
Built by working hands. That's right.
So, and you can go on my website and you can buy shirts, hoodies, and hats are coming soon. So it took a while to put it all together. And it's got the Jersey Shore podcast on there too. I had to throw that on there. So, but other than that, guys, so what do you think Trump's going to be talking about tonight?
Well, Iran. He's going to try to sell us. He's going to try to put a positive spin on it. I think the left wing media is doing a good job of making it seem like, oh, gas prices and everything. So I think this is more of a PR move than anything else.
You have to. I mean, it's authoritative to address the country from the Oval Office. It's what we want presidents to do in times of crisis. And look, it's a chance for him to speak directly to the American people without the idiots on the left distorting, twisting, and lying about everything. So it'll be beneficial. He'll convey the success of it. And the plan is, people want to know a little more about this transition, because that's going to, again, the phase. When does the military phase stop? When does the transition begin? And at what point do we say we accomplished what we wanted as far as moving? Because there is, the regime change aspect of this is always going to be a question that people say, well, are we there to change? Is there regime change? And he's been very clear about what the objectives are. Now, from that, I don't think we could really dance around.
Their leaders, most of them, terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash, took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job," every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined, and that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
Where's the boss? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting. I think he talked around a lot of stuff, didn't really directly, like the Iranian war, what's going on with it? What do we got to do? How much longer do you think it's going to be? Are we sending troops? What's going to be pulling people back? And what more do we got to do?
Where's Damon? Damon's gone. Seth, I think I don't think that issue of transition is really ripe. It's not ripe yet. It's just not ripe yet. And so I don't think there's a lot of divulgence of what that is. But that's really what everyone wants to know. What's the next step? That brings everything into focus. It's probably not ripe yet. I mean, they just don't have in place what they need or want, the right comfort level, with, probably putting the Shah's son back up there for a little while and get the Iranian people on the street to take this country back. You've got to get rid of these idiots, and then you can declare victory. But I think they're just not ready to divulge much about the transition yet.
What was it? 2 or 3 days ago, the USS Tripoli is now on stage. They got 2,200 Marines on board.
Yeah.
Huh.
See, that should tell people too. Like, I know you know this, being in the Navy and maybe an amphib guy, but you're not going to invade Iran with a couple thousand Marines. If we got 500,000 troops over there like we had with Gulf War I, I'd say, wow, something really brewing here. But I think that speaks volumes too, and people have to realize that. The Marines are going over. Yeah, there's a couple thousand of them. They're going over there for probably some limited surgical things. No one's talking about, boots on the ground to the extent where you're invading and conquering this country. That's really ridiculous, to be honest with you. You're not going to invade with a couple thousand.
I don't know. 2,000 Marines, you give them enough crayons, they could do a lot of damage.
Oh, Navy guys, always busting on Marines. What was the Navy usually say? We're happy to give you a ride.
We give you a ride. Hop on.
We're the men.
Thank you, our great producer. I thought we were ending the show after this. I was trying to get the kids to bed, and I was watching my phone. And I say, "Oh, where's the wall?" So I'm running down the stairs.
It was a pretty quick speech. He didn't really.
I thought it was going on longer.
I did too.
He usually does.
Yeah, he does like the sound of his own voice. I will say that.
Yeah, well, hopefully this all works out, and I think it's the right move myself.
Yeah.
Elaine, like you said earlier, I'm okay with paying an extra $1 or $2 for gas for now. If it brings it back down and for we get things together and we do it
for national security reasons. Yes. It's
a
legitimate reason.
Yeah, not for a Green New Deal or some.
Look, we know this is temporary at most, and it's still well below what Biden had us at $5 a gallon gasoline. But the Green New Deal is permanent. the Green New Deal was a permanent crush on fossil fuels and your internal combustion engine and your mobility and your economic freedom and movement, because that's what they were trying to curtail. So yeah, world of difference with that. And I mean, okay, I mean, when gas was over $5 a gallon, nobody on the left was upset. No one was upset. Well, we have to do it to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels. The Green New Deal is worth it. It's a whole.
They also said that, and that the president has no control of the gas prices, so you can't blame Biden.
Yeah.
Did anything ever come of any of it? Like all the money we spent, like are we like what was built? Like we got nothing out of it, right?
Well,
Literally
I
nothing.
can tell you, in New Jersey, we spent $5 billion in windmills that haven't really generated any.
They didn't build them. They didn't put them in. I mean, it's a lot of this money goes to think tanks and colleges and universities so they can give grants out for people to just sit and debate energy policy all day, with nothing actually being built by people like Damon, blue collar workers actually out there building something. But right now, I mean, New Jersey, I mean, you got your choice. You can restart coal plants. You can build LNG facilities for export. You can build natural gas fired facilities. You can certainly nuclear. But energy policy should be about tangible, not a debate club. I mean, New Jersey shut down 6 electricity producing generating plants, never replaced it. We have to import power now, and your bill spikes. And the left then says, "Oh, Donald Trump's tariffs are the reason your electric bill is high." And you fall off your chair laughing, but then you sit back up and say, "Wait a minute, somebody on the left is going to believe that."
The stupid people, I'm telling you, they're stupid.
It's brain dead. I mean, it's just beyond brain dead.
I don't believe it when they voted in Mikey Sherrill, and I heard big things. I'm going to put a freeze on your electric bills. We're going to stop them right here. No. How about you lower them? Okay, because they're astronomical. Under Governor Phil Murphy with his policies, I mean, he wasted so much money on the wind farm thing. It never panned out.
It was a joke. I mean, it's a joke. Not to mention, you're destroying the ocean floor bed. You're permanently disrupting the migratory patterns of fish and bird. The blades are horrendous for the blades that kill birds. I mean, you've got gear oil out there. What happens when Hurricane Sandy rolls up the coast and knocks those things over like bowling pins?
Yeah.
I mean, none of it. It's so, you look at an oil rig. I try to explain this to your local liberal. You bolt into the ground what Phil Murphy wanted off in the ocean, 4,400 individual turbines, windmills. I said, I can put an oil rig out there. Not that there's oil out there, but just to let you know, you put an oil rig. You know how that oil rig is bolted to the ocean floor? It's not. They use thrusters today by GPS and satellite to continually move the platform to keep it where it needs to be. They don't even drive into the ocean floor. And then you got these windmills. Oh, the environment, they destroy the ocean floor.
Yeah.
It was marine mammal murder every week last year. Every week, a dolphin, a porpoise, or a whale was washing up on the shore of New Jersey or New York or Massachusetts every week.
Millions of birds, tens of millions of birds every year.
Yep. And Mikey Sherrill said, it'll be more expensive, but if you're a good person, you'll do it. And this is the person you think is going to lower your electric bill. You know how she got elected? You know how Mom Donnie got elected? You know how most of these people get elected? And Damon, I know I've talked to you about this, apathy. We have right now in America, almost every election in our country, and to include the president, okay, there are more people that sit home than vote. And if it's not that way, it's equal. It's about 50-50, the same number of people that sit home vote. But right now, most elections in our country, more people are sitting home than voting. And that has to change, or we are in some real trouble.
Did you all see the breaking news?
What?
Artemis?
No, yeah, liberal judge has just ordered Artemis 2 to return to Earth.
Yeah, me for a second, because I would say, you know what? I would not. I would believe it.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't be surprised.
I watched the launch. It was pretty incredible.
That's you know what this is of all the that's a cool I thought Trump should have mentioned that tonight.
Yeah, I thought he would say something.
Yeah, he should have mentioned that tonight. That's a feel good thing.
Yeah,
that's a real feel good thing, and I'm glad it's happening. It's good to see.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat.
Very good. Now they're going to the moon to orbit the moon. There's no landing, right?
They're not landing. They're just going to go around it and come home.
Couple loops around the Earth first to make sure everything's cool, and then I guess they slingshot. Out to the moon and back.
I have no desire to be an astronaut.
No.
I had the lunch pail when I was a kid in Catholic school. I like that. That's the extent of it.
Well, I wouldn't mind going up there as long as I'm not driving. No,
I want no part of that. There's 4 of them, and they're in a space for 10 or 14 days. I forget. It's the size of 2 minivans. And they're in this tight space for all that time. And one guy has never been to space before. And I'm like, what if he bugs out? It's a double wide minivan with him.
Yeah, what if he...
No, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's going to have to come to the conclusion fast that it doesn't matter. He's not getting home till that thing comes back. There's no out. There's no rest stop up there.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I hope there's tranquilizer darts in case that happens.
I don't. Yeah,
well, listen, I'm sure Katy Perry and the rest that went up there that got more coverage than this launch.
Yeah. I mean, that was what was it? She flew up there. What? She just hit space, turn around, and come home. Is that what? Elon Musk.
It was huge on the news. It got more coverage than this.
That was what Jeff Bezos, right? He did that.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Bezos.
That was why'd you bring that up? That made me so sick. Every way she was in space, looking at herself in the camera, like, oh God, just insufferable. Insufferable.
All right. Well, she's now she can say she's flown to space, an astronaut. Look, maybe someday it'll be like air travel in and out of space.
Will.
You know, someday. You never know. So quick show of hands. How many people here believe in extraterrestrial life?
I'm like 50% there, so I'm not raising it all the way. I'm like 50%.
I would say, I don't believe believe in being here, but there's too much space out there to.
I'm a firm no. I'm a firm no. But what I do believe in is spiritual. I think there's a spirit world out there. After we leave the life, we go to heaven. I'm Catholic, so I believe in all that.
But it also depends on what you mean by life. I'm thinking like germs or
not a.
I think that could be possible in a lot of planets. But do you mean like life, like
an alien?
Take me to your leader.
The Roswell, the Roswell dummy.
No, I don't know.
I don't think that. Well, there's like a theory. The hunter in the dark woods theory, that there are hundreds of civilizations out there, and we're like hunters in the dark woods, not wanting to be seen by somebody else because we don't know what their intentions are. And if they do see someone out of self-preservation, they're going to have to kill that person, because if there's a 1% chance that civilization will take their civilization, they can't. They can't take that chance. They have to kill them. So that's what I think. If there are civilizations out there, we'll never meet them. They'll never come here because they don't know what our intentions would be. So everyone's going to avoid everybody and try to hide from everybody forever.
Mm-hmm. Could be. I think when people see you, I believe in UFOs, but I believe they're super secret advanced military technology that very, very few people know about. I mean, think about in the 1980s, if you saw at night a B-2 bomber, what does it look like? It's a wing, right? It looks like this really weird shaped thing with lights. You'd be freaking out, but we know what it is now. It's a B-2 bomber. It's an F-117 stealth fighter. You know, we knew all that. It was a flying wing is what it was. I mean, I love being in space. I think it's good for the country. It's good for the world. Yeah, we should do that. If you want to pay off the national debt without inflicting pain on anyone, snag one of the asteroids flying around. They got more minerals, gold, and everything on there that it's worth. If we could get it and harness it, Elon Musk is trying to. I think I heard him speak before that. Try to land some type of mining thing on one of these comets to do the mining and send it back to Earth. There's an untold trillions amount of dollars in rare earth and asteroids. which
Well,
cool.
Well, heck, they said that asteroid that blew up over Ohio last week, that there are parts, if you can find a piece, it's worth millions.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Doesn't have to be big. Basketball size will be worth millions.
I bet. And they say that those asteroids are full of rare earth metals, minerals, gold, diamonds, and I'm like, that's, you want to pay off the national debt, snag a few of them, bring it back to Earth safely, and create all kinds of wealth.
What are we doing here?
They wouldn't do that with it. They wouldn't pay off the debt and create wealth for the American people. They wouldn't do
Depends. I mean, if liberals got it, they'd waste it and spend it because it's financially. Yeah, it's an interest. I mean, I'm sure we don't even have the technology. We could probably land something on an asteroid, but how would you actually begin mining the apparatus and then launch off of it to return it back to Earth?
You just need Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that's right.
The Armageddon.
But it's good to see Artemis, and I'm glad we're doing this. I think it's a good thing for the country.
Yeah, I think so too. But okay, everyone, I went a little long, and thanks DW, our producer, Elder Damon, this man behind the curtain, for producing and not telling me we're coming back on. I appreciate that. So
What did they leave? I sent him an email, told him I was here.
So, and everyone else that joined in, we really appreciate it. All the comments, excuse me, that you guys made. We appreciate you guys tuning in and getting involved in the podcast. We love it. So just make sure you guys like and subscribe. And so you know, you can go to our AmericasPulseNetwork.com website now, and you can watch the shows on that as well. So we got that up and running. And we're open too. I know our producer has got something where we want to have call-ins soon. And one guy was on there, page 1776. He's like, I'm the guy you're doing the side job on the floors. But he was showing me some stuff. He has a podcast as well, and he was showing me some cool stuff that he has. But everyone, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. So
thank you much.
Guys.
All right, signing off.
Thank you.
All right.
America's Pulse Network thanks you for watching tonight's episode of the Pulse Podcast. See you at the next packed episode that will take you from breaking news to informative topics. So please click on the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you liked what the Pulse covered, then share the Pulse Podcast with others. APN's The Pulse hosts look forward to seeing you